Well, the Falcons just got bad news about Kaleb McGary retiring. But I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't trip too hard about that and why there's some things to be optimistic about. What's going on, family? It's your boy C-Mo, the C Metro, check in with another Bird Bath ATL. Shout out to all our fans and loyal subscribers. Like I said, we're going to talk about McGary and his retiring and why it's not the worst thing in the world, as well as why I think that Drake London is actually better than Puka Nacua. I got a phone conversation with me and my pops. We're going to get into all of it real quick. I'm going to tell you why you need to pay Drake London right now rather than later. So, without further ado, we're going to hop right into it, though. Recently, like I said, the Falcons found out that Kaleb McGary is retiring. And honestly, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world because we were without Kaleb McGary all of last year, and immediately we signed Jawaan Taylor. Now, keep in mind that Jawaan Taylor isn't necessarily a premier offensive tackle in this league, but he's definitely better than what we had last year. With the clown who will not talk about, who wanted to talk about 28-3 and call Atlanta a crap show. But again, I think we've already gone a season without Kaleb McGary, and he's getting a little bit older as it is anyway. Now, I think that that's on him to decide when he wants to be able to retire, but I think that the Falcons can easily move on without having to spend a second-round draft pick on drafting a replacement for Kaleb McGary right away. I honestly think that Jawaan Taylor, he's a guy who at one point with the Chiefs, he had an $80 million contract. Now, he didn't live up to that exactly, but he's going to be a whole lot better than what we had last year with all the offsides penalties and all the holding penalties. I think he had like 9 to 11 penalties last year. Again, he who will go unnamed. If you guys want to look him up, you can. He went to the Cardinals. But I believe that this is going to be better than anything that we could get in the draft at this moment that would start right away. I think he's going to be better than a day 2 starter would be right now. Premier offensive tackles, they are drafted in the first round. And for that reason, I think it's smart for the Falcons to not go about trying to, have to draft a cornerback, offensive tackle at this point in time. That allows them to be able to put in a little bit more toward the offensive, the other offensive positions, like maybe either a wide receiver. And honestly, in my humble opinion, still I think that one of our number one concerns is the cornerback position and potentially the middle linebacker as well too. We still are in position to be able to go best player available, and if there is an offensive tackle right there that's just a can't miss, I think you go with them. But again, I think that Ian Cunningham is out here making great moves. And right now, that's, $5 million that we're paying him, up to $5 million for Juwan Johnson. I think that, our GM is making really good moves. Ian Cunningham is making smart moves, smart plays, making sure that we don't have to give up a whole lot and we can put guys on prove-it deals. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens in the draft. I want you guys out there, though, let me know what you think is going to be the next move for the Falcons in the draft. Where do you think the next priority is at? Do you think that this changes how soon we need to draft an offensive tackle? Now, I think that we still, if we can go in the 4th or 5th round with offensive tackle, that's a good way to go. But I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you think. And I was on Falcons Nation yesterday, which I will link in the description, where I was telling them that I still feel as though we need to look further on down the line for getting Kaleb McGary's replacement. And this doesn't change anything for me, in my humble opinion. I think that we're still in a good position to be able to go best player available. I think that that would be a smart move for the Falcons right now. Now, we're going to get into it here in a second with the phone conversation I had with my pops during the playoffs, where we were kind of talking about Drake London and comparing him to Puka Nacua. And I'm going to tell you, before we even start that video, why I think that we need to go ahead and pay Drake London right now, why I think that he's going to be better than Puka Nacua. But we're going to hop into the comments real quick. What up to the homie Trent? Says, pay Drake or he'll be winning the Super Bowl somewhere else. It's that simple. And far as McGary, will be fine. 4 other guys been together 3 or 4 years. Went without McGary last year. Plus all the new learning system. This is a fresh starter. perfect time to lose someone. I kind of agree with you, man. I think that again, I mean, McGary's getting a little bit older anyway. I mean, what was he? 31 years old, body wasn't really healing up all the way. So I'm not so upset about us losing McGary like that right now. Now, as far as Drake London, the reason I think I tend to agree with you, Trent. I think that you need to pay Drake London right now, or you're gonna cry later. Humbly, in my opinion, personally, I might get some flack for this, but I think that Drake London is better than Puka Nacua, hands down. Puka Nacua has pretty much every year that been in the league, he's had a premier, number two option out there. If he wasn't the number two option, because you got to remember his rookie year, he was playing with Cooper Kupp out there. He played with Cooper Kupp the year before last, and then he played with Devante Adams last year. Defenses have always had another player that they've had to worry about as long as Puka Nacua has been out there on the field. And whereas Drake London, he's not had a premier quarterback yet, really, honestly. Whereas Nacua has had Matthew Stafford. Drake London has not had any receivers near on the caliber of a Cooper Kupp or a Devante Adams out there next to him. My pops makes a really good assertion about that. That's one reason why Puka Nacua is actually so productive and so good, is because they can't afford to double either one of those guys. If you leave single coverage on both of those guys over there, I think that it just opens up the offense a lot more. You have two receivers who can really take advantage of that. Whereas with the Falcons, we don't really quite have that. I think that Drake London is a stronger possession receiver. I think he's more aggressive, a better blocker downfield. And I think that if the Falcons don't pay him now, he's going to produce at an astronomical level next year, where it's going to be a high contract either way. But I think it would be better for them to go ahead and get an extension during the season before he's able to see his numbers come to fruition. Keep in mind, I think he still had about, 900 yards last year in only 11 or 12 games. Let me actually pull up those exact numbers for Drake London. I might be a little bit wrong, but I think he was definitely around 70 yards per game last year. And so if Drake London would have had the chance to complete the season, his numbers, I mean, he was on pace for, I think, maybe 140 yards. I mean, 1,400 yards. Excuse me, 1,400 yards on the season. Now, over the amount of games that he played, real quick, I think that Drake London's got to be close to that 900 mark. But let me get that pulled up for you real quick. Yeah, it was 900. 912 games. Still almost hit 1,000 yards. Just crazy productive. And he was on better pace than he was last year. Last year he had 1271. He was averaging 13 and a half yards per carry as of this year. So if he would have got his normal 100 receptions, he would have got 1,350. And he had 7 touchdowns in just those 12 games. So again, argue with your echo, man. I believe that Drake London is better than Puka Nacua, and that's why I think that the Falcons need to go ahead and pay him right away. Because if they don't, we're going to be looking at him having something to prove, and I think he's going to set a crazy record number this year coming up. I mean, he's one of the best possession receivers in the league. He can really do it all. He can get deep on you. I don't see any reason why he won't go upward of 1,400 yards, maybe even 1,700 yards. He's just gotten better each year. He could easily lead the league in all 3 categories this year, potentially. And I'm not talking out the side of my neck. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility of seeing Drake London with 1,700 yards this year and easily 115 receptions. He's not nearly gotten as many targets as some of these other premier receivers. Near it, but maybe around 158. Some of these other guys are getting 160-something receptions. Puka Nacua is getting about 600, around 170 receptions per year. I mean, targets per year. And we're going to show you that in the graphic that I have with the conversation with my pops as well, too, man. You guys are in for a treat, man. Stand by, and let me go ahead and cue this up for you guys real quick. you say about Puka? Why you think he better than Drake London did?
I don't know what but I don't know because I can't say that he's that much better because they're both dynamic wide receivers. I was about to say because you know that they're going to throw the ball to him, but I tell you one of the reasons he is so good, too, they got Devante there with him, too. And if we had a win, got Devante, man, to run around with Drake London, we would have been set up. We would have won one or two more games than we did. And maybe, just maybe, that's your boy.
Hindsight, you're definitely right. Because I remember you saying that you actually off season. I was like, I don't know if we could have afforded Devante, but I will say it looked like Darnell Mooney was going to be a lot more reliable. And so it seemed like it wasn't enough balls to
You
go
shouldn't
around.
say that.
And I want to stop it right there just for a quick second. Really, when we look at the contract of Devontae Adams, last year he had a contract he signed for 2 years, $44 million. I don't think the Falcons were going to be able to pay that type of money. I don't think that we had $20 million to devote toward a receiver last year. We were really kind of strapped for cash going into last season, and keep in mind, we're still going to have to be able to pay Drake London this year. So I just don't think that was an ideal thing. But I would have liked to seen us actually go after a receiver, as my father was saying. That was definitely a good thing that he pointed out, or a very valid statement that he made. I wish we would have been able to add some wide receiver depth and talent other than what we had, because we would have looked a lot better.
You didn't say that.
I did say that.
You don't like Mooney.
I don't like Mooney, but I was like, you got to get the ball to Kyle Pitts. I was like, Kyle Pitts gonna have a big year. Kyle Pitts, they're expecting him to do something. So how's it gonna be enough ball? And I did tell you that you was kind of like, you was a little iffy on Pitts. And I said Pitts is supposed to have the numbers that Mooney had, and he basically did. He definitely had the yardage, or close to it, and I think he had even more receptions or similar, and he had as many touchdowns probably.
We're not going to do it on this conversation. We're not going to let this conversation degrade into a Kyle Pitts debate. But
no debates, no debates.
but I tell you, we should have went and did some at wide receiver. Like I say, we should get rid of our GM because he just didn't do anything, and we shouldn't have left our boy out there hanging with no wide receiver, man. My goodness, I'm pretty sure we'd have won a game or two. But anyway,
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, what you said actually came into fruition. I did not expect Mooney to be as bad as he was.
It does seem kind of strange that they wound up with two folks they wound up with Devante when they could have got him, and they wound up taking Landman too, who you say we should not have kept. I mean, they were willing to pay him. I don't know whether he took less money because we didn't want to sign him, but
you know how much they paid Nate Landman?
How much?
It was only $1 million.
$1 million?
Yep.
Well, we couldn't have.
You could have paid.
And how much was he asking from us?
I don't know. I mean, I've said this on the show several times, but I think that Nate Landman is a liability in pass coverage. And there's another guy who had a show, and he got really agitated with me and started really defensive. And I was like, well, what do you think that Nate Landman does so much better than any of the linebackers that we play now? Because we only play 2 linebackers. You got to remember that. Most of the time we're in nickel. So is Nate Landman better than Caden Ellis, and is he better than Divine Diablo? And I just don't think he's better than either one of those guys. Not for our scheme anyway.
As I tell you.
Oh, okay, Dad. Now listen, stop right there. You watching this game? Right as I said that, they dropped the ball over Nate Landman's head in the end zone. Somebody's supposed to make it harder to get that pass off where they're throwing it in the end zone.
What do I always tell you? The football team has got to be deep, man. We lost Diablo, man, for how many games?
You right. Well, maybe it would have been better with this scheme. I will say that because Jimmy Late's scheme was worse last year. It's not the same exact scheme. But Nate Landman's biggest liability last year is that he was a problem in the pass game.
But he's all over the field. He tackles.
He be
And
making tackles 5 yards downfield. For some reason, he plays faster with this Rams team. But a lot of the times, I'd be looking at gameplay breakdowns, and he wouldn't attack the line of scrimmage. Like, you're always taught to at least take that step or two forward as a middle linebacker. And he would be meeting the running back at the line of the scrimmage. And,
Now, real quick, I want you guys to let me know in the comments also. How do y'all feel about Nate Landman? Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Do you think that it was okay that we let go of Nate Landman? Honestly, I think that Landman isn't better than Caden Ellis or Divine Diablo, and I think that we got along just fine. And as you saw from the video in the playoffs, Nate is a little bit of a liability in that pass coverage. It's kind of ironic that it happened exactly while I was talking to my pops. But I want you guys to let me know in the comments, what do you think about Nate Landman as a overall linebacker? And if you're just tuning in with us, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notifications bell so you can stay up to date with everything we're doing.
hopefully at best, but a lot of times it really was like maybe 2-3 yards downfield. I'll say at best it usually be like a yard off of the line of scrimmage. To the point that people were saying like our defensive line is getting blown off the ball.
well, our
And
defensive line is a lot better this year.
we got some of the same guys, and we got the same guys on the interior though. Ruka Roro,
Yeah.
Brandon Dorless, Zach Harrison should have been playing a lot more last year, and they had the team two gapping. But even with that said, the defensive line, we had Grady Jarrett too, who I don't think is better than Zach Harrison, but we were always getting pushed from the interior. Our edge guys would be missing sacks sometimes, so there was a little bit of problem with that. But the linebackers were not always getting it at the line of scrimmage. And Nate Landman
Well,
and J.D. Bertrand both were looking kind of like mid. Tape last year, J.D. Bertrand looked like there was almost no difference between him and Nate Landman and also Trey Anderson. They all looked very suspect at times on different things. And it was like, okay, well, the kid from Notre Dame, he's a rookie. Let's see what happens next year. And J.D. Bertrand looked even worse. So he left there to go to be a starter. And so he might not have been thinking he was going to start with the Falcons.
surprised they got him for it, that he went and played for $1 million. That's like on the cheap.
I mean,
Unless he had no offer from nobody, or then again, maybe he thought, well, I'll take a discount if I can go and play for it.
okay. Nate Landman got a 3-year, $22 million contract.
Oh, okay. And I don't know what the asking price was, but that's about $7 million. A
Well,
little
the
over
$7
$7
million,
million
yeah.
a year.
Yep. It says the deal includes a 15.67 million in guaranteed bonus with a 10 million full guarantee at signing.
I mean, they thought a lot about him and shit, man. Didn't he lead them in tackling?
Potentially, yeah, I think so. Probably. It
I
sounds
mean,
like he
come on,
did.
with Caden Ellis and what we added this year, and like I say, Diablo got hurt and was out for 4 or 5 games, man. We could have used them, man.
That was an extension they gave him.
That was on the extension,
It's only 1 million.
and they were so happy they gave him extension.
They gave him an extension. He said, you know what? Look, he definitely outplayed that contract. I will say that. I don't think
Oh
he's.
yeah.
Yeah, he outplayed that contract. Those numbers I just read off with an extension. You did say you could never be too deep at cornerback. You never could be too deep at wide receiver.
You can never be too deep at any position if you can find adequate. If you can find adequate, but certainly at wide receiver and cornerback, because as you said, this is a pass-happy league, man. And you've got to have people to defend, and you've got to have people to go get the ball. So, especially when they're proven players, man, the way I see it. So, I mean, Devante, I'd like to see him get him a ring finally. I mean,
So, what I do like about what we've done so far, though, to my father's point, is that we've gone out and we signed Jahan Dotson. We went out and got Olamide Zaccheaus, and I believe that we're probably going to try to shore up a little bit more with the wide receiver in the draft. It's a really deep draft for wide receiver, and you always get some pretty good talent at wide receiver in the draft. That could have been an option last year would have drafted. We did get Nick Nash as a undrafted free agent, but it would have been nice if we would have aimed a little bit higher with some wide receiver talent. I think we did that with actually Casey Washington, though. So it's going to be interesting to see what we do this year. But I do like that we have a little bit more talent. I think that, honestly, Jahan Dotson is better than what Darnell Mooney was. At least he has a little bit more upside than what Darnell Mooney had. And I believe that Olamide Zaccheaus is actually better than what Ray McLeod was. Now, you guys can tell me what you think in the comments as well about that. But I think it's really hard to look at the tape and not feel that way. Now, if you made it this far, I want you guys to hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notifications bell as well, too, so you can stay tuned to everything that we're doing throughout the rest of this NFL offseason. We still are about a week or two away from the draft, and I will be at Twin Peaks over in Buckhead. Make sure you guys come out here, hop on the bird bath with us, talk with us, man. I'll buy you a drink. You know what I mean? If I don't know, we'll come up with some type of giveaway, but holla at me, man. I'll get you a drink while we're out there. We're also trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the NFL draft, and I will have a prize for our 1,000 subscriber. We're going to tap to the comments real quick and see what they talk about out here. Trent says, I love your dad. He's exactly right. We started here with Casey Washington at wide receiver 2, and we ended with Seals. That's directly on Terry for not getting us help for 20 weeks. I will say that we did. They thought Ray McLeod was going to duplicate, and they thought that Darnell Mooney was going to duplicate as well. And as you see from the stats that I put on the screen as well, Kyle Pitts, if given the opportunities, will capitalize more than what Darnell Mooney has been doing, and this offense is a lot better with him out there. But I do believe that that's going to be better this year. We could have gotten at least one more person. I'm not against that, so I am with you on that, Trent. You said also, I do. Raheem said we changed what we wanted from the position. It was nothing Nate did. We wanted to go more speed and coverage. Nate's a beast, but not for the 4-2-5. He can't cover 50% by himself. I'm with you as well too. Yeah, I don't think Nate's gonna be the answer out there. And we got Billy Bowman hurt too, as well out there. So we're gonna need to add a cornerback in this draft coming up here. But yeah, I don't think Nate would have been great for playing that 4 in that 4-2 or playing as one of the 2 linebackers. I think he's a little bit too much of a liability. And we don't have the upfront tackles that they have out there in LA. I think he was a product of having a little bit more dominant run tackles, or guys who are pretty much more 3-down type of talent, and they're probably a little bit more deeper than we were. But I think that's going to change this year. But for the things that we were asking to do in this system, I don't think Nate Landman was going to be able to do any of that type of stuff. But yeah, you said Terry actually took from the little bit. Oh, you said Terry actually took from the little bit we had. We lost Ray and still didn't bring in any help. He saw what was happening on the field. I do agree with you on that. I would have liked to have seen us try to make a trade somewhere during the season, but I think they just kind of rested on their laurels a little bit and just kind of expected and thought that we were going to be able to tough it out and be able to win with what we had. I think that was one of the biggest issues with this regime, is that we didn't make adjustments on the field or in the front office nearly enough like we should have. I do feel like we tried to shore up that offensive line a little bit, but still wound up having issues later on down the stretch. But stay tuned, guys, man. I will link the video that I had from Falcons Nation yesterday, and I'll probably see if I can actually put a full clip of my or a full 30 minutes of my segment on the show with those guys, man. They had some really good topics about where they thought we were going to be going moving forward with the James Pierce Jr. situation, where we were going to go in the draft. Really, really dope people. I'm going to be probably using a lot more of that content from Falcons Nation with Maggie T Productions, and I'll probably be starting a new podcast with her as well too, or becoming a part of their panel that they have and incorporating some of that footage as one of my segments. Also, stay tuned, man. We did our first episode with I Object. That's with me and Hightower, but I'm also going to have a rotating cast on that. We are going to be doing another episode this week. We will be dropping episodes that weekly. I want you guys, if you're still watching at this point, to let me know what you would like to see us talk about on I Object. This is beyond the scope of just Falcons content. This is just around any NFL content, sports content in general. Where do you want to see us going? We will be putting out a top 10 receivers list and some other things as well too. So, but yeah, you guys stay tuned with us, man. Let's see. Trent says, "Let's go." Simo, already knew you didn't fit right in to what they do. Already saw this exact thing. Yeah, bro, it's all Gucci, man. It's all Gucci. But I will be fucking with Maggie on some of their stuff though. It's all good. You guys stay tuned, man. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're still watching. Make sure that you tap in with us for the watch party for the NFL draft. We won't have a first round draft pick, but we might trade up. And also, man, let me know your interest for the Madden tournament. I'm gonna put out a poll seeing how many people want to sign up for the Madden tournament. We're gonna be doing a Madden tournament, NCAA, and 2K as well too, as well as some first person shooters. Just figuring out how to put all that together, but I will be putting out an email list just to gauge what the interest is going to be on all of that. It's your boy Simo the C Mitchell for the Bird Bath ATL, and I am Point Game Official. Deuces.